Welcome to the next lesson, product tuning. And here's what we'll be covering. What product tuning is and why we need to understand it. How product tuning relates to other physical product business models. How to discover exactly what people do and don't like about the products that they buy. And how to use this information for your very first private label product. Product tuning is the process of making small, minor changes to a product in order to make sure that it stands out and better solves your customers' problems. It falls somewhere in between private labeling, which is taking the same product and then just branding it yourself with a logo or packaging, and product customization, which is making some significant changes to a product to really make it your own. Product tuning may not be viable for your very first product, and that's totally fine, because private labeling is easy and very profitable, and the research that we'll get from doing our product tuning will help make sure that our private label product is as good as it possibly can be. Let's take a look at some of the most common physical product business models out there. On one end, we have resale, which is simply selling the exact same products and the exact same brands as everyone else. Then we have private label, which is selling similar products but with our own branding and packaging and maybe a logo on it. Then there's product tuning, which is making small changes to improve the product and the customer experience. Next, we have product customization, which is changing a product and maybe adding or removing features, and it could involve creating your own mold or cast for that product. And then at the far end, we have invention, which is creating a brand new product entirely. Now, it's important to keep in mind that as we move from one end to the other, the costs, the profit margins, and the level of complexity all go up. So what does that mean for us? Well, fortunately, we've been doing this for a while, both selling on Amazon and training thousands of others to do the same. And we've learned from our years of experience that the best places to start are private label and then product tuning. Both of these two types of physical product business models have the highest return on the investment in both time and money and are truly the ASM sweet spots to start with. Now, in order to perform product tuning, we'll need to know what customers do and don't like about the products in order to figure out how to best solve their problems. And how do we do that? Well, luckily, Amazon makes that incredibly simple for us in the form of product reviews. Let's go take a look, and we'll make some notes in our product opportunity spreadsheet as we look at the reviews for our top 3 product opportunities. So here I am on my copy of the ASM workbook. This is actually a copy of Rich Henderson's last ASM workbook. You can see the different product opportunities that he was researching. You probably recognize these from Module 1. You can also see the top 3 hot product opportunities that he has highlighted in red. Now, what I'm going to do before we get into researching our product for product tuning, I'm going to hide some of the rows that we don't worry about right now. I'm not going to delete any of our potential opportunities, because if our 3 hot product opportunities don't turn out to be so hot, we can't find good prices or suppliers for them, then we may want to come back and look at the other opportunities. But for now, I'm going to hide them so that they don't distract me in my research. I'm going to highlight those 2 rows, right mouse click and click on hide. And then I'm going to hide these next 2 rows right here, 7 and 8. Hide those. And then I'll also hide the sample row we had, the rabbit corkscrew, and hide. And so we're really just back to our top 3 product opportunities now. Now, we want to do product tuning research on all 3 of the top product opportunities, but I'm just going to show you on the first one, and then you can replicate the process for all 3 of these. Let's start off with the lightweight sleeping pad. I'm going to hover over the link and then click on it to pull it up on Amazon. And there it is, the Outdoorsman Lab Ultralight Sleeping Pad. Now, normally in product tuning research, we want to find the issues that customers are having with a product. As you can see here, this product has 562 reviews with an average of 4.5 out of 5-star rating. That's a great rating. So clearly this seller and manufacturer is doing something right. However, we can always find things that people can complain about. That's kind of a common thread in this world. So let's go look at these reviews and filter on the negative ones. Now, when you click on all the reviews, it's going to pull up the most recent ones on the right-hand side. Now, to get to the review filter, which is what I'm looking for, I simply click on any one of these reviews, doesn't matter which one. And then it's going to pull up that review at the top. But if you scroll up a little bit, you will then see the review filter. You can sort and filter by different things. I want to sort, or actually want to filter by all critical reviews, which is going to pull up only 1, 2, and 3-star reviews. If I wanted to see all positive ones, it would pull up all 4 and 5-star. But to start off with, let's look at all the critical reviews. So here are all of the critical reviews, and let's start reading through these to see if we can see any themes of issues or areas for improvement. So the first one says they didn't get their money back. I'm going to read this here. And it says that their best friend got the same pad for a trip to Havasu. Let's see, but one of them didn't find it comfortable because the holes were not comfortable enough for them. Then they couldn't get their refund from Amazon. So it doesn't really seem like a big issue because their friend slept perfectly fine through it. So maybe it was a quality issue with that one, but we'll keep going down and see if there's any kind of recurring themes here. The next one says it was comfortable and highly portable, so just the opposite of that person up there, but it could be wider. Now this is interesting. This person is saying that their only complaint was that it was very narrow, and they're a 6'1", 205-pound person. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's see if anyone else had that same issue. Now the next one here says it leaks after the first use, and right below that another one says that it would not stay inflated. So definitely starting to see a theme here about a quality issue potentially. Let's see, the pad worked fine for the first few nights, and then let's see, this customer here, actually if I read through here, they stored it in their closet for 5 months and then it wouldn't work. So I'm not so worried about that one. But so far looks like that the main issue is it wasn't wide enough and that it leaked. Let's keep going down. Here's another one. Only used it once. It was very disappointing. They tossed and turned all night because the sleeping pad had deflated. All right, so our first issue that I'm seeing is a quality issue where it won't stay inflated. So let's go over there and I'm gonna show you how we keep track of these. Going back to the workbook, and then over here on the product URL, I'm going to right mouse click and I'm going to insert a comment. And you have to scroll down sometimes, but there it is right there. So one of the cons is that it doesn't stay inflated. All right, now I'm not quite done yet. I'm gonna go find more issues with it. Let's go back over to the reviews. Another one doesn't hold air. That's kind of the same issue. Here's one down here. It's fine for the price, but not great. And they're saying, again, look at this, really narrow. All right, so now we're seeing an issue where it might not be wide enough. I'm not saying we would necessarily want to go out there and find a product that's wider, but we are seeing some people complaining that it's not quite wide enough, and we should make note of that in order to talk to the manufacturer and see if that's something that we should and could take care of. So let's go back over to our workbook. Another con is going to be that not wide enough. All right, let's keep going down and see if we see any other issues. I'm just scrolling down over here. Let's see, they picked it up over the holidays. It worked great. And as we skim down, let's see, it stayed inflated, but when they woke up to reinflate, they had to do it twice that night. Okay, so they're realizing it might just be, a lemon, so it could be just a quality issue as well. Let's see, again, another issue down here. They said it's feeling like they were sleeping directly on the ground. All right, so maybe comfort is an issue with it. We might as well write that down. Let's go back over here. So we have it doesn't stay inflated, it's not wide enough, not always comfortable. All right. So let's keep going and see if we see any more issues. I'm going to go to the next page to extract more negative reviews. Another one, it's uncomfortable when blown all the way up. Here's one that says blowing it up was easy. That's interesting. Let's see. But rolling it back up was a complete pain. So if we see, several people complaining about rolling it back up, that might be something we want to look at. But I'm going to keep going because that's the first one yet. This person says that, it's not for ground sleeping, best to use in a hammock. When I go down to the review, I'm not seeing anything that we haven't really seen yet. It was thin, so it's not that comfortable. I haven't seen a lot of people say that it wasn't too thin yet, but we will keep that in mind. And let's see, there are pros, really nothing overwhelming here. Got to keep going down here again. All right, love how small and lightweight it is. Okay, so that's a recurring thing. People like how small and lightweight it is. Then another one, it sprung a leak. Okay, so we are seeing the leaking being an issue. If I scroll down again, beware of deflation. Here's something else. So it slides around. If we look at this one right here, they're saying the pad slides around on their sleeping bags. So let's keep going and try to find something else. Again, that's the first one we saw of that. This customer could still feel the ground. Cheap product down here. Easy to inflate. That's pretty good at all. Let's keep going to the next one then. Very convenient. They're liking that. I'm just going to keep going to see if we see anything else. Again, people having to keep adding air. Don't waste their money on another slow leak. I'm keep going down. Oh, here's one. A lot of noise when moving around. I haven't seen that yet. So let's keep going further and further. Another, this one says they like how easy it is to inflate. So that's one of the pros that we're seeing. As a matter of fact, let's go add that right now. A lot of people are saying, we saw that it's lightweight and that it's also easy to inflate. So in the same little comment box, I'm going to start putting in the pros. Lightweight, easy to inflate. And these are just things that we want to make sure that we look for, that the product that we source is able to at least meet those pros as well. I'm going back over to the reviews. I'm going to keep scrolling down. Here's some that had an issue with it. Let's see. It sounds again that it was leaking air, and that's a quality issue. At least they had some good customer service to take care of it, which we all need to be sure that we always provide to our customers. I'm going to keep going down again. All right, something, can't really read anything new in here again. Gonna keep going down, another leak down here, blah, 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 blah. Keep going down again. Another one thought it was quite thin. So I did see that twice, so we'll write that down in a second, but I want to keep going a little bit more. Again, it was deflating, easy to inflate and deflate, probably not a good thing. And that's about it. Okay, so I think the only thing we want to put down over here as a con is that some people thought it was too thin. So let's write down over here, too thin. And there we have the pros and cons that we saw by going through the first couple pages of the reviews. Now, one other thing I like to look at always is just go to the product listing itself, because a lot of times we as sellers like to call out the positive features and also the negative things that other products have that ours doesn't. And that's a good place to look for things that we need to look for on our product. Let's go back to the product, and I'm going to scroll and go to the main page again. There it is right there. And let's go look at the bullet points. So they're talking about get a great night of sleep camping and backpacking. No more sore back or annoying discomfort. It's 2 inches thick. So that's one nice thing, is we'll know that this product is 2 inches thick. So we want to have ours thicker if possible, if it's still lightweight enough to roll up and take around with us. It does say they have a patent pending ultralight sleeping pad. Now, I know that we always say to look out for patents, but this one says patent pending. I'm not so sure if a sleeping pad would be patent pending. If so, this probably is more of a utility patent. We would just want to research and see exactly what they're talking about. This does not mean they have a patent. It means that they've applied for one, they have not gotten it yet, and you want to research and see what exactly have they patented, because we all know that there are hundreds of different kinds of sleeping pads, so there must be something very unique about theirs. Now let's see, you won't miss your mattress at home. They're just talking about how comfortable and how supportive it is. It's great for backpacking and camping travel. It gives you the weight and the size, which is awesome, so that we know that when we're looking for our supplier and product, we at least want to try to have a product that's the same weight and size. Because if this product is selling that well and has that many positive reviews, then by having one that is very similarly size and weight, we should be meeting those customers' needs as well. Then they are talking that it is easy to inflate and deflate. So that'd be another thing we want to make sure that our product can do. And then they also talk about they have a lifetime warranty on here, which is a great thing, a great selling point. You don't always have to do that. Sometimes, products with a 1 or 5 year warranty do just as well as products with a lifetime warranty. This is really kind of up to you, but you definitely want to provide a warranty. Now, if we go back to our workbook, I think we've added in everything that we've seen. The pros, lightweight, easy to inflate. Let's say that, on the pros is they want theirs to be comfortable. They say it's comfortable and supportive. So we'll write that down and say it's comfortable and supportive. Once we're done, just click on that comment button, and that saves this comment here for that product. And then we can go down and start doing the exact same product tuning research for the other products. And when you're done doing that, you'll have a great idea of what customers do and don't like about each of your 3 top product opportunities. And now it's time to take action. I want you to go through your top 3 product opportunities and determine what customers do and don't like by looking at their reviews. Make note of those on your product opportunity spreadsheet so you can refer to them later, because we'll use that information when selecting our final product and our supplier. The goal is for our private label product to cover as many of the customer likes and dislikes as possible, without having to have the supplier make any costly changes in both time and money. And in future products, we can use this information we're gathering right now to improve our existing products and develop new ones. And coming up, it's time to learn how to source products from anywhere in the world using our simple sourcing system. So I'll see you in the next lesson.